The Nation Station, RTC, the Nation Station, the Nation Station, RTC, the Nation Station,
Turks and Caicos, welcome to First Edition. I've got someone as my guest that I know well this morning, and we're going to shine a light on an organization that helps prevent crime and fight crime and keep our community safe. We're talking about Crime Stoppers TCI, and joining us this morning on First Edition is none other than the president of that organization, Mr. Lewis Smith. Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Ms. Forman. Nice to be here.
Good. So, for those of us who don't know, let's start right off. Tell us a bit about what Crime Stoppers is.
Crime Stoppers started in 1995 here in Turks and Caicos, and it's a non-profit organization. And Crime Stoppers acts as a anonymous bridge between police and the community in order for people to be able to give in their information anonymously, and so we can have the information to help, fight crime. But there's one little stigma. Some people think that we are associated with the police, and that's just a fallacy. We are a non-profit organization made up of people within the community, and none of our board of directors are police officers. So we are just citizens protecting citizens.
I'm glad you mentioned anonymous. So let's stay there for a second. How do you assure people that tips and information given to Crime Stoppers is actually anonymous and remains that way?
Okay. Once you decide to send a tip, all of our tips are collected and processed by Miami-Dade Police Department. No one here on island processes that information. So once you send the tip, either via if you go by the 1-800-8477, or if you use the P3, those two mediums, the data is collected by Miami-Dade Department, and it is processed and then sent to our police coordinator here for further investigation. So no one knows who sends the tip.
Right. If you're just joining us, we're talking to the president of Crime Stoppers TCI, Mr. Lewis Smith. So tune in and let's get some information together. So, Mr. Smith, what have been some of your initiatives and awareness campaigns that you've done lately?
We started off with a bang with a walk in March, and coming up March 2026, guys. I know a lot of people, spoke about it afterwards. They missed it. Well, don't miss it this time, because 2026 is going to be bigger and it's going to be better. So don't miss the Crime Stoppers walk in March. We closer to January, we will send out the date and stuff in March when we're having it. But in our efforts to get back into the community, to stimulate the community, to try to let them know who we are and try to bring awareness to them, we started a poster campaign where we put posters around all the islands. We have some in North Caicos, we have some here in Provo, we did Grand Turk and South Caicos, and then we have our big signs that we are going to be soon putting on the roads. Those we are just finalizing the permission from planning. So once hopefully before Christmas, we would have those signs up, and we are doing signs throughout all the islands. But what has been a good promotional idea for us was the domino tournaments. The domino tournaments we started in Q-Town, but for whatever reason we didn't get any action in Q-Town. The guys didn't show up, but it's all good. Q-Town. we still have you guys in mind. We still have the trophies. We still have everything, and we're coming back to Q-Town soon. But then we went to North Caicos at the Hog Road restaurant, right on the dock, and I mean those guys had a very lovely time, and they have called us and say they want us back. All right, so it started growing from there, and then we went to Grantor. We went to Baxalina North, and we went by the Just Cool Bar, Mr. Ferguson Williams. Oh man, that was I mean that nearly brought tears to my eyes.
A time was had, huh?
A time was had. I mean, it was a lot of fun. We didn't have any issues. We did talk to the police, and we tell them, just ride through. They pass through, but then when they realized that, but it was all fun. I mean, the Grand Turk people enjoyed it. They were all dressed up in their Crime Stopper shirts. It was amazing.
Oh, good. Tell us a little bit about you. What makes you so passionate and want to be involved with Crime Stoppers?
I just have this passion for this, even through my training as a security officer, because I did a lot of training, and just passionate about being involved in community like that. And I was a director before, and then they called me and told me they want me to be president. So I didn't know what I was getting into, and I found out later how deep the water was. So they say you either gotta swim or you sink. So I had to swim. So I called up some of my old friends who I met and from Crime Stoppers, some guys out of Trinidad, some people out of Jamaica also, and some people out of Bermuda, and they have coached me along, and they have given me advice and give me some direction and stuff, and so ideas come up and we just move with it. But I think the real key to our success in Crime Stoppers is actually the community, getting the community involved in whatever we are doing. And I think that is the key to our success.
Yeah. You're wearing a nice branded shirt this morning, and you mentioned shirts at the Domino tournament. So if someone in the community wanted a Crime Stoppers shirt, how does one get Crime Stoppers paraphernalia?
We have the particular shirt that I'm wearing. We have some on order now, but we had just ordered these for our board of directors because we didn't have anything. Right. So in order to show up and to show out, we had to get ourselves straight first. So we have these, and we have the polos. Many people have been asking me about the polos. They really like the polos. So we have some of those on order also. So once they get it, right now we only have the regular long sleeves with the Crime Stoppers logo on the front and the logos on the back. Yeah. Yeah, but moving forward, we're gonna have some polos and some long sleeves where people can purchase also. Yeah. But we have other stuff too. We have shopping bags. We have our Crime Stoppers shopping bags. We have hats. And so we're coming slowly. Good.
So do you engage schools and churches and civic groups to help promote public safety, and how do you get the youth involved?
Well, we do right now. We're working on what I've noticed is that when we went to, I just came about a month ago. I went to Jamaica to celebrate with them with the 36. With their 36-year celebration. They had a gala. And what I notice about them is that they have a lot of private sector, involvement in their Crime Stoppers. So I'm hoping that we could hopefully engage some of our private sector people here, because that's what makes their Crime Stoppers so strong and so forceful. But we are doing, to answer your question directly, we have a lot of young people who I work with, especially with the domino tournament. We brought in some young people. They come with their ideas and stuff. We we work with them through the domino tournament. We're working on getting some more paraphernalia and stuff like. I don't want to go to the schools empty-handed.
Right.
You go to the schools, the kids, we want to
They're
get our
looking for
rulers
something,
and pencils, and so you leave some sort of memory. And in terms of engaging through partnerships, we are doing a domino tournament this month on the 28th, along with Turks and Caicos Brewery. Right, it's going to be a big competition.
That's going to be here in Provo?
Right here in Provo. The 28th, I think, of this month is a holiday. It's a Friday. And we are going to be doing a big domino tournament with them. And I think the prize for that is they're going to fly the winning team to the U.S. to take part in an international tournament.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And what has come out of our local tournaments also is that through the CBLA, which is the Caribbean, Bermuda, and Latin American Crime Stoppers, they control the Crime Stoppers throughout the Caribbean, of which we are a member. Once I sent them the videos, now they are thinking about doing a regional domino tournament.
That's interesting.
So it's really catching on.
Yeah.
It's really catching on. But while I got it, South Caicos, you're next. We're coming.
So how does one get involved if one wanted to volunteer or contribute financially to Crime Stoppers? How do we go about doing that?
Okay, we have a bank account at First Caribbean. I don't remember the bank account offhand right now, but you can go to the bank and you can make a deposit, or they can call us. We can give them the number and they can make a donation. And in terms of volunteering, I mean, if they see us out anywhere, sometimes we are by the IGAs, by the smarts and stuff like that. If you're passing by and maybe you drop your kids off to soccer practice and you're just killing some time and you see us there, you pull up and say, hey, I got an hour to spare, how can I help? And I think the community needs to understand too, is that crime is everybody's business. It's not just the government, it's not just the governor, it's a community problem.
Yeah.
And for us to get a grip on it again, we have to come together as a community.
Yeah. Now, Mr. President, one of the most recognized aspects of Crime Stoppers is the reward system. So how does that work? And how are funds raised for these rewards? And then how are they distributed?
Rewards program. Since I became president, there was a lot of things that we had to revise and reform. And to be truthful, we have just completed revising our rewards program. That's something that's going to be sent out to the news media within the next week, because we had to revise it, because based on what was done before, it's not appealing to the community.
Right.
It's not appealing. So we have revised it. I have the finished product. We are preparing a press release, and we're going to release it to the public soon. In terms of how the rewards are done, in order to qualify for Crime Stoppers rewards, you must use one of our mediums to send your information, either the 1-800-8477 or you send it through the P3. Now, once you send it through those mediums, you can track the P3 has a tracking on it where you can go in and you can check on your tip. So you would know right from there if your tip would get you a reward. Now, the reward, and also the rewards are, in terms of how the rewards are paid out, we are looking, we have a system, and one of the key takeaways from going to the Jamaican Gala thing was I got an idea of how we can do it locally, but it's gonna involve another organization which would enable us to pay out anonymously. But the rewards program is coming, and also we have to remember that the other qualification for a reward is that it must come with an arrest and charge. It used to be arrest and
Conviction?
and conviction. So now it's arrest and charge. So if you send in a tip and the person through one of our medium and the person was arrested and charged, then you are qualified for a reward. In terms of funding, we are hoping that we could get more private sector involvement in terms of, I mean, not just financially, but actually to promote what we are doing, because you know the private sector actually drives most of the country, and if we can get a few of those big private sector organizations on board, I think our message would get through a lot easier.
Yeah. You just gave me a great segue, Mr. President. So tell me a bit about your relationships and partnerships with corporate TCI, with government, with the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force. What kind of relationships or partnerships do you have with these entities?
In terms of the police, we have a good relationship with the police, and I say this publicly. I know the stigma, and I have to be careful how I say we have a relationship with the police, because now people can say, "Oh, I know that, I know that long time," But no, it's not like that. What we have done is, we have to, because whenever we have to have a relationship, it's a handshake relationship where when things happen and they need to put out a reward and stuff like that, then they would call upon us and we will act accordingly. Right? And in terms of the community, we're trying to build that now through this domino tournament. I mean, we have had some talks with some persons from the Hotel Association before. So in terms of the government, we have spoken to them, but it's still waiting on the premier. The governor has been very positive. She's been very active. She's been very supportive. But and that is our focus for 2026 to really be able to work along more with private sector organizations, because a lot of one of the other takeaways from the Jamaica trip was that I realized that a lot of the organizations that are here locally and that is in Jamaica also, they are big supporters of Crime Stoppers, Crime Stop Jamaica. But so I'm hoping that I don't want to call nobody names, but there's three big companies here that are in Providenciales that supports Crime Stop Jamaica, and I'm hoping that they would do the same thing for us here in beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos.
Well, charity begins at home. It should start here if they're here.
Should start here. I agree.
So you mentioned the 1-800-TIPS and the P3. Most of us know the 1-800 number. We know how to use it. But tell me a bit about P3. How does one get access to it, and what does it do?
P3 is an app similar to WhatsApp, but the only difference with with the P3 is that it doesn't ask you for any of your personal information. You can find it on your phone in your Apple App Store, or you can find it on your Samsung, your Android. You can find it in your Android App Store. It's easily, you download it, select Turks and Caicos as your country, and we have all the islands there. We have Providenciales, we have North Caicos, Middle Caicos, Sol Key. We have all the islands there, so you can select South Caicos. You can select any one of those islands that you live on, and you can start sending your tips. And all it asks you for is a 4-digit code. And once you send a tip, it will give you a tipster code. So that's it. That's all it asks for. And I'm hoping, persons who are at the sound of my voice, if you have not yet downloaded the P3, please take out your phone and download. If you have information, you don't have to tell anybody. We don't have to complain about nobody that you've spoken to and they talk it and you don't have to say it to nobody. All you have to do is download the app and send your information at the privacy of your own phone. And I think that P3 app is a game changer. I'm also, just a note, I'm also talking to some government officials too, where we could include this P3 app into some of the government organizations like immigration. I mean, that P3 would be a great app for them. I mean, it has the capability to do what they want to do, and we're looking at sending them a proposal where we can have them, and people can send information relating to immigration and all that stuff too.
Oh, sounds good. I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, from your vantage point as president of our country's Crime Stoppers, what would you say are some of the greatest challenges in fighting or preventing crime in the TCI?
One of the greatest challenges here, and I gonna piggyback again off Jamaica, because it was a great experience, and that's why I like to travel. When I travel, I look for things that we could use here. It's not just for for everything else. And one of the other takeaways from Jamaica was that I lost my train of thought. They have I lost my train. Sorry.
So you were saying our challenge here is what? Our community not working with the police and organizations, or what?
Right. The challenge, sorry about that. The challenge we have here is that persons are not willing to give up information. And what I was talking, and my reference to Jamaica, was that Jamaica is now seeing a 40%. It's now seeing a 40% reduction in crime for the year.
That's great.
And it is only possible because there are people now are realizing that, listen, this crime thing ain't working. I mean, we're living in a we have a tourism industry and stuff like that, and this isn't good for our country. So and true to in fact, the Jamaicans have a 311 number that is actually answered locally. They have that answered locally. Our information is overseas.
Yes, yeah.
And people still doesn't want to send the information. They're saying that they're scared and they this and they that. But I think that's the biggest thing. People are not willing to send in the information. And a lot of coming back to Jamaica again, a lot of the people, believe it or not, a lot of the people give in information and don't even ask for no reward. Yeah. So that's how I sure if we could get our people into that frame of mind, I'm sure we can get 50% reduction in crime or more.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but community and public trust is key to what you do and to crime generally in Turks and Caicos. What are you doing to reassure or to gain that public trust in the organization?
Well, that's why we think getting out in the community is important. I go back to Grand Turk. When we had the domino tournament in Grand Turk, I gave maybe a 10-minute speech, and what was surprising to me is that the guys sat there and they were so attentive. You know, they made it like, hey, I'm into this, I'm interested, and I think that's the other reason why we really push the domino tournaments. It's not just to have fun, but it's to engage the community and let them see that they can trust what we are actually doing.
Tell me a bit about membership and membership drives. Have you had any yet? Do you plan to? How does all that work?
Membership drives, no, we haven't done anything in that area, because when we started, it was a complete rebuilding process, and part of the rebuilding and focusing on the community, it takes time, because these things, they take time, they take planning, you know. So we're going at a steady pace, and I know I've had some calls from people who want to help and who want to make donations and stuff like that. So, but I think in terms of that, we haven't looked at that yet. I think that would, once we get our farm footing and get that visibility out there, and then we'll channel towards that.
You mentioned the domino tournament and the interest that young men in particular had in what you were saying and the whole presentation. Do you think that enough information is out there in our community about Crime Stoppers?
Yes, I think so. And I've had people say to me, "Oh, I don't know, I don't hear nothing about Crime Stoppers." But mind you, we have a Facebook page, we have Instagram, and we have a website. Now, that made me think, because if I'm living in Turks and Caicos and I know crime is a problem, right? I'm gonna be researching to see if there's any agencies or anybody who's paying attention to exactly what's going on. So when people make statements like that, it kind of it doesn't seem logical, but all of our everything that we do is on our Instagram page and our Facebook page. So if you go to our Instagram page, crimestoppers.tc, or you go to our Facebook page, which is the same thing, crimestoppers.tc, and you would see all of our information, all of the domino tournaments, everything that we have done, the walkathon, everything is there. So I think people are not interested.
Yeah.
Because I'm of the opinion that if you're interested in something, you're gonna go look for it, right? Yeah, you're gonna go look for it. You ain't gonna sit down and wait for nobody to come tell you about it. So the information is actually there.
Yeah.
You know, and we, you know, crime is a problem in the islands. I mean, people talk a lot about it, but nobody wants to follow through. And the follow through is the action. You know, and I challenge the people who are at the sound of my voice this morning. I challenge you, go home, look in your mirror, and say, what are you doing to assist to eradicate crime in your community?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing, but put yourself in the mirror. You know, it's gonna take, it's not gonna be the police, the government, the governor. It's gonna take all of us as a community.
Yeah, yeah. Over the years, Mr. President, from your years even as a director and now as the president of the organization, would you say that Crime Stoppers has made any difference locally?
I think what is making our group different is that we are not shy to go into the community. We are not scared to go in the community. I had some young guys said to me, they say, man, I know you ain't scared. Say, come. And they're inviting me to where they are. And they say, man, listen, this is gonna work. Come. So I think that was one of the issues that the former directorship had. They had this, oh, I ain't going there. Mm-hmm. I ain't going 5 Keys. I ain't going. Mm-hmm. I ain't going Qton. I ain't going. But we ain't scared. We ain't stupid, but we ain't scared. Mm-hmm. But so it's just how you interact with people. I mean, we go in easy and nice, and we talk to people and we make them understand, and this is what we're doing and stuff like that. When we went to North Caucus to the domino tournament, they were a little skeptical and stuff like that. But when they saw what we were doing, and they all got involved, and it was a nice time.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned and you made reference to Jamaica quite a few times, and your recent experience and your recent attendance at their 36th anniversary. What would you say are some of the benefits that Turks and Caicos gains from the regional organizations, if anything? Do we benefit from being a part of this regional body?
Yeah, there's you can get funding. There's funding. There's collaborations where we can share ideas. We might have something here going on, and the same thing might be happening in Trinidad, and they might have come up with a solution that we can use. It probably will need tweaking, mm-hmm. but it's just collaborating and support. Supporting each other's organizations, because and I must tell you, Crime Stoppers Turks and Caicos has come a long way. I mean, we are one of the top-rated Crime Stoppers now in the Caribbean, and we pushing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they see us now.
I remember years ago, Crime Stoppers used to have a Christmas ball. Are you looking at that at all? It used to be well attended, I thought.
Yes, we tried. We were trying to do that, but with all that's going on, I think 2026. I promise you, God spares life. I promise you, 2026, we're gonna do that. But this year, I think we wanted to focus on the community, mm-hmm. and get the community, sensitized again, and let them know who we are, what we're doing, and what we want to do, and what we expect from them, and what we want from them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the focus. The domino tournaments have proved, have bringing us some good rewards in that sense. So I think the remainder of the year we're going to focus on that. We have the walk and march, and I think after that we will focus on either ball or a crime symposium. I'd really like to. That's
interesting.
Yeah, I proposed it to Her Excellency already. We would love to have, because I don't think Crime Stoppers has ever had a crime symposium in Turks and Caicos, mm-hmm. and I think that would be great.
Yeah.
To have a crime symposium in Turks and Caicos. That
sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would. I think that would attract more people than what the ball would do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's. But we have it on the table. 2026, God spares life, cause we gonna get it.
So, how often do you meet?
We try to meet once a month. We try to meet once a month to go over our plans and what we have on our plate to do for the next month or whatever. And so far it's been good.
So for those people those listeners and viewers who might have just been joining us, Mr. President, tell us again, what's the core mission of Crime Stoppers TCI? What's your main objective?
Our main objective is we want people to see something, say something, and do something, and collect a reward. Right? Our focus is, but our main, one of our main things is keeping the information that you send to us anonymous. And that's why we provide the 2 apps, because the apps acts as the anonymity. So that's what we want. We want people to be more engaged. We don't just want to hear people complaining about crime. We want people to do something about it. You know, people here, crimes have happened in this country, and people have the information. We know they have the information, but I understand, you know, they are afraid and of retaliation or whatever. But that's why we provide the apps, so nobody knows that, you know, you sent that information. But that's our main focus. Our main focus is to assist the community, and like I tell you, we are citizens protecting citizens.
Yeah. You mentioned the domino tournaments and going around the islands. Do you have any other plans to go around the islands? I know that some of our islands are, you know, have difficulty with internet or telecommunication services. Do you plan to go back to these islands, not just for a domino tournament, like just as a way of keeping contact with that community?
Yeah, we have some future plans to go back to these islands, and not only just to put our signs up. We are also thinking about a feed the elderly thing. So we will hopefully next year we'll try and get that orchestrated where we feed the elderly here in Provo, in the different communities, and also in North Caicos and Middle Caicos and stuff. We'll go around, visit people, let people see who we are, you know, take pictures, crack some old jokes with the old folks, you know, make them feel lovely and take pictures, and, you know, I think that's one of the other things we have on tap to do too, and that is our real community engagement, you know, getting around with the older folks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is Crime Stoppers involved in any way with the neighborhood watches?
No. Before, when I was a director, Crime Stoppers did have a neighborhood watch program. But now what has happened is, since I've taken over, I've inquired about that, but what has happened is that the police has an extensive program. So we can't have a program and the police have.
Yeah.
So we kind of pass that back over to them. So the police has a very vibrant neighborhood watch program. So we just let them deal with that side of it.
Are there any international conferences or trainings that Crime Stoppers TCI could get involved in, or that you're planning to attend or be a part of?
No, not at this moment. I was in communication with Miami-Dade Police, because they have conferences and stuff all the time in Miami. So I'm trying to organize now where we can get onto some of those conferences and stuff like that. But you know, the international conference that they used to have, they haven't had it for a few years because of the lack of funding. So they say they're trying to revive and to do something. So we're just waiting on that.
What have our stats been like for this year? I know in previous years we'd say, oh, the 1-800 number had 3 calls for the whole year or something like that. What has been our stats for this year?
For this year, we have had, you know, let me start from the beginning. When we first took over and we introduced P3, I think February 14th, I think it was 2 years ago. As soon as we introduced P3, it spiked. It spiked. We had like, and people might say, that ain't plenty, but we had like about 60, I think about 64 tips.
Really?
Yeah, it really spiked. So now I think in speaking with our police coordinator, he was telling me that it's kind of smooth out. It's smooth out now. But we're getting traffic, and that's why. So because he said that it's smooth out, that's why we took it to. That's why we wanted to go now into the communities, so we can get more people to use the app. You know, the hotels and stuff like that. You know, and try to get more people to use the app because it's a very dynamic app, you know, and it's very protective when it comes to information and stuff like that.
And what about the 800 number? Have we been getting any calls going to Miami-Dade on that?
Maybe one or two. But I want to clear something also in terms of the 1-800 number, because some people have approached me and said that they've been calling and that the police here is answering, and I challenge them when I come to that. And but I think sometimes people locally, they confuse the 1-800 number with the police 911 number. Yeah, so that's been, but we're still, Miami-Dade is still taking the calls.
And can you call the 1-800 number from either telecoms provider? So if I have a Flow or if I have a Digicel, I can still access the 1-800 number?
Yes. Grateful to manager Joanne Mizik from Flow. When we first started out, we were having issues, and she took it upon herself to assist us with that. So it's programmed permanently into their switch now, and you can call, and it's over to Digicel also. So you can call from your Digicel or Flow to access the 1-800-847.
So we really have no excuse.
So we really don't have no excuse. If you don't feel like talking, or you feel skeptical, but then I tell people talk about this fear of using the P3 app, and I'm going to say it loud and proud, Turks and Caicos. But people go on WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook, and they send all their private pictures and information without reservation. But then when it comes to the P3 app, they're like, oh, I ain't using that. So that's kind of, that gets me, that beats me up. I can't understand that one.
So you said earlier too, if you see something, say something. So there's also a stigma attached to that, where people, said you're being a snitch. Are you encouraging us to be snitches?
Well, see, you got to understand what a snitch is. People confuse what a snitch really is. Now, snitching came into play when, like, for example, if you and I go out together and do a robbery, right? Okay, we got away with the robbery. Now the police caught you, right? Now the police trying to get you to talk against me. That's snitching. That's what you call snitching. Snitching isn't if you go down the road and you see a crime and you say something. That's not, or you do something. See, the do comes into sending it on the P3. You understand? So that's the difference, and people don't understand exactly what snitching is, and that's the difference. Snitching is not if you go down the road and you see a crime, and or you witness a crime, and you send your information on the P3. That's not snitching.
So snitching is more like talking on each other.
Right. Snitching,
Giving you up.
Right, giving you up. That's snitching.
Uh-huh.
When two people go out and they do a robbery together, the police catch one, and now the police trying to get that one to talk on the next one. That's snitching.
But if we see something and we say son do something, then that's the right way to go about it.
That's the right way to go about it.
So, Mr. Smith, what's your message this morning to residents, business owners, and young people about how they can all play a role in keeping the Turks and Caicos Islands safe?
My thoughts for the young people today is, and just like you mentioned a while ago, the young people got the snitching thing in their mind. But my thing to them is that, if we want a better Turks and Caicos, if we want to live comfortable in Turks and Caicos, if we want to see our kids and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, be safe in these islands, we must long to do the right thing. You cannot condone wrong and expect for right to come. And the right thing to do is when you see wrong, you must deal with it, So, and I think I would love for I know it's probably virtually, and we ain't gonna get everybody, but I'd love for everybody to have our P3 app on their phones. Everybody who's at the sound of my voice in Turks and Caicos this morning, download the P3.
And you said we can get it on both Apple and Android.
Both Apple and Android. And you see, today it might be you. Tomorrow it might be me.
Yeah.
And people, I've seen situations where people are just against what we're doing. But then when the crime hit their doorstep, they cry out, "Oh, nobody doing nothing. Nobody ain't doing nothing." Yeah, it's because it's at your doorstep now. So we can't think like that. We have to be our brother's keeper. We have to be our brother's keeper. Not because I might have a boat and a nice Range Rover in my yard. I can't come next door to you to borrow some sugar. We must be our brother's keeper.
Yeah. And what about, just remind us again as we wind down, how can businesses and even the Hotel and Tourism Association assist Crime Stoppers right now?
The two best ways is financially and promotionally, because there's a large portion of the population, and our population is very diverse now, and the private sector controls the majority of that population. So if we can get them to get to their people and say, "Hey, download this app, support Crime Stoppers," and I think we will go a long way. That would be really nice.
Yeah. And final words?
Yes, I look forward to continuing our community work. South Caicos, Q-Town. Can't forget my boys in Q-Town. Q-Town, we coming. Crime Stoppers is coming, and South Caicos, and then we're back here in Providenciales to do like the other communities like Five Keys and Blue Hills, Wheeling, So, but I want to thank everybody who have been supporting us. I mean, we have some real people who have really been supporting us, and I thank them for. We have a lot of foreign people who don't even live here, who have given us support. And I want to thank them. And we can't call names because it's anonymous. Yeah, I just want people to, when they see us, just give us their support. I mean, this is our country. We have a lot of people living here. And I want to tell the public, you're living here. You might not be a born Turks and Caicos Islander, but you live here. You have family here. And if you're living here, no matter your race, color, creed, or your immigration status, you have an obligation to become an advocate against crime.
Yeah. And you said whether it's a check for $100,000 or $100 cash, you're willing to come get it, right?
Man, listen, we have taken 50 cents. Yes, a lady walked up to us down at Smart and gave us 50 cents, and she thought we weren't going to take it. Every penny counts. Every penny counts. Me refusing nothing. Every penny counts.
Listeners, viewers, we've been listening to the president of Crime Stoppers TCI, Mr. Lewis Smith. Mr. Smith, we want to thank you and your team for the work that you do daily in keeping our community safe and keeping us engaged. If there's anything that we can do to help you promote Crime Stoppers, please let us know. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us, and thanks to your team. Please convey our profound thanks to them.
Thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to coming back again.
Sure, we'll have you back. This has been First Edition. Just before we go, Greg, Zoya, the team at RTC want to say a very happy birthday to Shalane Bean in Grand Turk. Happy birthday, Lanes. This has been First Edition. We'll see you next week.